All right, let's move on to the next topic here. So there's a really big thing that happens with people, Matt.
Okay.
And sometimes you tell people a hobby of yours, and it doesn't have to be board gaming or video game or gaming at all, but you tell them something about what you do or that you're excited about, and they show some sort of disapproval to your hobby. And what I'd like to talk about in this topic is things that you can do to deal with this, or things that you can do to educate those people who are saying these things. Because for the most part, I feel like this is probably more family related, like extended family, people who don't really know you, but I don't know, people that have some sort of expectation of what you should be doing with your life.
Right.
I don't feel like it's as bad when you go out to random strangers. They probably don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to start? Give me an example of a time that somebody disapproved of a hobby that you are excited about.
I was actually prepared to come in here and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never had this issue, but it just popped in my head one. In the mid 90s, late 90s, still living with mom and dad, action figures.
Oh yeah.
Mom and dad just did not understand it. They questioned me all the time about it. They joked at me.
The 40-year-old virgin Matt over here.
Exactly. And my best response was, well, it's an investment. But after time, I actually did turn around and sell a lot of the figures for quite a bit more than what I bought them for. I mean, I ain't saying I got rich off of it or anything, but
yeah,
it wasn't an investment in sense. I did enjoy my collection I had. It was impressive.
Oh yeah, you were collecting a lot of Final Fantasy,
He-Man, a lot of depending on what kind of McFarlane figure came out. I didn't buy every single thing he came out with, but if it was something that Clive Barker came out with a set that pretty much kind of looked Hellraiser-ish, a lot of his twisted, he had twisted fairy tales and stuff like that.
Those were awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed those a lot. Not one Spawn figure I bought, but I mean, it just different figures, usually for video games though. They were usually Legend of Dragoon, Metal Gear Solid, which sold really good.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, still in the box. They sold really nice. So I mean, it was more of I liked getting action figures just because I could physically hold. It's like I said, because it was usually video games. I could physically hold something I loved. You're playing a video game; it's just on a screen for you. But to physically see something, hold it, and keep it in a box was always exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I think there was a lot of people who suffered that same conversation with family members and such. Why are you collecting all those toys?
Mm-hmm.
Because they immediately think toys and games are childish.
Yes.
And it's like, for me, I'm a collector, and I was collecting a lot of toys, action figures and stuff, leaving them in the box. And then I realized I don't want to collect anything that I can't have fun with. It's not enjoyment to me to leave them on a shelf or leave them in a box somewhere.
Right.
So I personally thought to get rid of it, but I actually love action figures. It's just that for me, I just decided to move away from that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I just opened them all and put them in a box and was like, I'm going to give them to my kid one day.
Right.
Or kids if I had kids or whatever. That was many years ago, and then it's actually happening.
Right.
So that's pretty exciting because I have all my X-Men figures all in one big storage bin. It's probably 250 figures.
Right.
It's crazy. But I wouldn't buy that stuff now just because, like I said, all these board games, those are a lot more valuable to me personally because I can go and play them.
Mm-hmm.
Or my video games, I can go and play them. I collect a lot of things, but it's always something that I can interact with in some way.
Right.
Not like shot glasses. Sorry, Mom.
No.
Anyway.
Well, I was actually doing the shot glass thing there for a little bit for
she was too, but you know what? She's like, hey, you're going to
well, exactly.
You're going to Florida. Can you bring me back one? That defeats the purpose.
Exactly. Cause I always wanted to do it for every place I went to. Cause when I traveling to different shows and stuff, to see bands play, I would get a shot glass for whatever city we were in or state. If it was a state shot glass, cause they didn't have one for whatever small town it was, but I was kind of doing the same thing for a little bit, but then I don't know. I kind of gave up on it.
Was it just shot glasses? Was it only for the state or like actual plate? Like,
well, if they had it for the city, if it was a bigger city and they had one for the city, sure. But if anything, the state. But like you said, I never understood the, you're going there. I always wanted to look at the shot glass and me be able to have a story to go with it.
Yeah. No, I get that. She would do that with, shot glasses and then put like money in it for like the first thing she bought there or whatever. I don't know why she did that.
Okay. So has your mom got a bunch of shot glasses with money laying around? Is that what you're saying?
It's like quarters.
Oh, okay.
It's probably like the change that
the change she got back. Okay, right. Gotcha.
So she had it. I don't know. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe it is the quarter of that state. Maybe she put those in there later.
Oh, that would make more sense.
That would make more sense.
Yeah, all right.
We'll go with that.
Okay.
Anyway, going back to the main topic that we're talking about, how to deal with the disapproval. So, for instance, shot glasses or stamps or whatever, collecting something like that, some people are going to look at you and be like, what are you doing with this crap?
Right.
But you're right. Some of that stuff is an investment. Coins and stamps especially.
Right.
That stuff can be worth a lot of money. And I feel like a lot of people are probably more understanding of that because they hear money.
Right.
But, back then, no one's going to think that those action figures are going to be worth a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Stamps and coins have already been established to raise in value over time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, a lot of people collected baseball cards back then.
That was one.
Yeah. Everybody was one.
Yeah.
We all got a hat on that one.
Yep.
Except for some very rare ones.
Because of oversaturation.
Yeah. Well,
mass production.
That's
mass
true.
Production is what did it.
That's true. Yeah. And that's kind of what killed some of the value of a lot of toys and stuff now. But I mean, that's a different type of.
I know.
That's like supply and demand.
Yeah, no. I was just trying to find a way to get it in there.
Anyway, so how did you handle that when your parents told you? I mean, I know you said that.
My best thing I had was it's an investment.
Well, what I mean by that was emotionally. Like, did it get to you at all? I mean, some parents are probably a little bit more.
My parent, it was in a joking manner.
Okay,
and my dad's somewhat of a worrywart. I think he was more worried about if I was wasting gas money to get to work. On said action figures, and then I would have to borrow money from him. So, but that never happened. But
I gotcha.
I think that was just something in the back of his mind he might have been a little concerned with because I was buying a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's fair. Let me tell you my story. It's mostly about games, and it's always like, why are you sitting around playing all these games, and why are you playing these card games or painting these miniatures? Painting the miniatures are a big one.
Right. And
the way I look at that is, why would you judge somebody on what they like? It's a different story to just say, oh, why do you like that? Tell me why you like it.
Right.
But a lot of people just immediately, I think it's like, it's really big right now on the internet and such to immediately make fun of somebody for what they do or what they love or what they have a hobby about. And I don't feel like that's very fair because you probably are into something that is literally stupid to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know what? I really like to skydive. You're an idiot. Not because I don't feel like skydiving is but that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm not going to skydive. There's no way I'm going to skydive. You have to kick me out of a plane with a parachute, and then I would probably open it because I don't want to die.
Right.
But would I find skydiving enjoyable? Not in the slightest. But I'm not going to make fun of somebody because I'm terrified of it, or better yet, if somebody tells me they're into cars, I don't care about cars very much. From the, like the muscle cars and things like that. I'm more so like I like the what do they call them? Like the not prototypes, but the cars they make, the concept cars.
Concept cars,
yeah.
Yes.
I like those a lot better because they're so futuristic and they're really interesting and stuff. And I really wish they were real.
Right.
But otherwise, I don't care about cars. My car is a 99 Camry. Mm-hmm. It gets me from point A to point B, and it works still. Right. So, do I care how the engine runs? Do I care how much horsepower it has? No. Computers? Sure. The computers are another thing that people went crazy on. You're into computers, you're a nerd.
Right.
And we talked about the nerd thing before, but anyway, so I guess let's think about some tips that we can tell people on how to handle this, because some people are very introverted. people will make fun of their hobby and then they'll just be like, well, and then they'll take it. You know, they accept it.
Right.
What would you say? Do you got any tips for these people?
Throat punch works. No. I mean, if that's happening, I mean, there comes a point you just need to kind of get over it, I think. It's already in that person's mind. I don't know if you can change it.
Oh, I see what you're not saying just accept it, move on. But as far as doing something about it.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't know if there's any much you can do about it. There's a lot of things that people enjoy that I probably wouldn't, but that's their thing. I don't care.
Yeah. Here's something that happened a lot with me. When I was younger, I used to be like, God, people are so stupid for being into sports. They are literally the dumbest thing ever. I did not like sports. There's a lot of people that don't like sports that are, you know, more nerdy-ish, into nerd culture kind of things. I'm pretty sure there's probably plenty of people playing board games that actually think sports are stupid as well.
Right.
But the thing is, how stupid are they really? I mean, the fans probably are stupid in some cases.
Well, that's why they're called fans. They're fanatical.
Right, yeah, they're burning couches and stuff because their team lost.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean the sport is dumb. There's a lot of athletic people playing these, and literally it's a dexterity game. It's nothing. It's a lot more elaborated than Crokinole or, you know, Ice Cool or whatever the type of dexterity game you're playing.
Right.
Because it's a lot more physical skill and mental and endurance and such. But the thing is, I think a lot of people always hate something else or make fun of somebody else because they don't know anything about it. And if they were educated on that, I almost think a lot of people's minds would change in some ways. Now, the skydiving thing's a little bit of a different story.
Right.
But we're talking about hobbies. You know, part of the skydiving stuff is like packing your chute and all that stuff. I don't feel like that's enjoyable to me, so I'm not going to do it. But somebody might get, you know, somebody likes to fold clothes that much. Maybe they should go into skydiving.
Well, I think it's probably got more to do with the adrenaline rush when they're doing it.
But let's stay on the sports.
Right.
All right. So with sports, I started learning a lot more about sports because my brother-in-law lives with me now, or has been for many years. And he has taught me a lot about football and basketball. And honestly, at first I was like, oh, I'm on basketball, whatever. You know, because it's so like first person shooter. It's like just quick and fast and points are getting scored and all that stuff. But then I realized I actually don't like basketball as much as I do football now, because football is actually, it has got a lot of strategy. It reminds me a lot of turn-based RPGs in some ways.
Right.
And I relate to that now. And so in learning more about sports and how the rules operate and connecting that with something that I already like, I find more enjoyment in there. And so that's probably the only thing I ever made fun of people on. And it's mostly because, like we were talking about earlier, it's just the fan mentality. Mm-hmm. It's not that I hate it to people because they like sports. It's mostly because they're insane.
Right.
And I'm like, you're getting so mad and you're yelling at this other guy, but it's literally something you have nothing to do with. Right. You just like it. Everybody else is performing. You like it. Mm-hmm. And you're being a couch warrior
right.
and yelling at people on the internet and stuff. I don't know. I think to deal with it though, if it's a family member, you need to talk to them. Definitely
family member.
Yeah. If it's a family member, it has to be dealt with, because family for the most part will spread that into other family members. And if you're younger, that could be really influential on you, because there's a lot of family out there that are unfortunately unfair to like their kids and such, because they're like, well, you can't play Magic.
Right.
Because I heard this and I heard that. Well, literally those parents are stupid. They're ignorant of that topic and of that game. They don't know the inner workings of Magic the Gathering. At one point, sure, it had a pentagram on one of the cards and it had a little bit of stuff that was a little bit evil, but that's no longer in the game. It has its own world that doesn't revolve around that now. That's a very early thing. And so I feel like a lot of kids and stuff suffered that throughout their childhood. And these people were too stupid to research it.
Yeah.
So when my kid grows up and he wants to get into something I think is stupid, and that's my immediate thought, I'm going to educate myself on that topic and make a decision that way. And if he really likes it at that point, then he likes it.
Right.
As long as it's not like, bad, as long as it's not like he's collecting knives and guns. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Wait a little bit on that.
Yeah, I know. There's no way he's gonna have guns. Anyway, final thoughts on this, Matt, because I'm out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. I mean,
just deal with it. If it's a friend, most of the time they're probably just joking. If they're not joking, then you need to really tell them. It's never a bad idea to tell somebody, hey, you know what you're saying really affects me. Because if you don't, they're going to continue to do that crap. And if it affects you, it's not affecting them.
And I mean, if they're a friend, they'll understand.
And and if they're not a friend, they won't understand and they'll make fun of you more. And then that's when you need to let them go.
Right.
There's no reason you should tolerate people in your life that are making fun of the things that you love and they're not joking around. So
maybe I should stop making fun of Nikki about Gilmore Girls.
You told me you liked it.
It was all right, but
we talked about this, Matt. I said it was one of my
here's a better example.
Guilty pleasures, Matt.
Grey's Anatomy.
I think I've maybe seen like 2 episodes.
I am so sick of that show. It has nothing to do with it.
Is that because she's taking the TV up though?
No, she watches it in her room. I just think it's an awful show and I can't stand it.
But you don't make fun of her for it, do you? Oh, well, maybe because you're married. That's a little bit different.
Because I do.
Well, I don't know. I guess it's a little bit different. I mean, we're talking about Disapproval. You're probably just harping on it.
Yeah,
it's friendly banter,
and it's not something she's like super into.
Does she ever get like super mad that you're making fun of it?
No, she doesn't live and die for Grey's Anatomy. It's just a show she likes.
I think that's the thing, though, is that if she really got upset, like say one day she started breaking down and crying because you were saying all this stuff,
right?
You probably would stop saying it.
Well, I would like to think I would.
Matt's ruined this segment. He's against it.
It's about me.
Well, anyway, so if you got people in your life disapproving of a hobby of yours, make sure that first educate it. And if they're family, make sure that you at least tell them how you feel.
Or at least tell them why you're into it and what it does for you.
What it does for you, yeah. Some people are really into emo music. I don't, it's okay, I guess, but it saved them from killing themselves. So how do you argue that crap?
Got them through rough times.
Yeah. Well, I thought about killing myself 5 or 6 times, and I slit my wrist once, and I called the suicide hotline because I was listening to this song. Now, how are you going to make fun of that crap?
Right.
People listen to Justin Bieber. You know what? I don't make fun of that. I don't like it. I mean, except for his new songs, pretty good.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, he's not bad now. He's getting better, but like, oh baby, 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 oh stuff.
Yeah, little bubble gum. But
yeah, it's a little bubble gum. But a lot of people hate Justin Bieber. But
I think a lot of that's just got to do with him
as a personally. Yeah. Well, no, I get that part, but they translate it pretty well into music too. So
yeah.
Anyway, I guess we can move on.
Let's move it.